That is quite a big power station, isn't it? At least compared to everything around it. Hello and welcome back to Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video, as vehicles that I do not entirely recognise drive around. They look a little bit like Model Ts, but perhaps some sort of roadster variant or something akin to those. Now the top of that looks like a Benz of some sort. Going to have a look. Anyway, I am getting distracted by old vehicles. In the last video, I got on with building Battersea Power Station on the banks of the river, not Thames, but the river Tweed, for some reason or other, because we do not have the Thames. And I also got to work trying to figure out how to connect up some railway lines over to it, because it is going to require a whole heap of coal. Well, it does not really require coal, but I'm going to make it so that it requires coal for it to operate properly. Therefore, I get to run trains over to it. Now, this has been interesting because of the elevation of the power station, and also then the lines alongside it, which you can just about see behind. If you have a look at the tree on the right hand side, just behind that, you may just about be able to make out the ballast. I was going to say ballast. No, ballast. I might be lost. Ballast for the railways. So the railway beds. Now, somebody did make an interesting observation, a comment, and said that it might be a good idea to run the railway, or to run the railway going to this particular power station underneath the railway that goes to the Weetabix factory. So at the moment, it joins on the near side of the railway, and the suggestion was perhaps to have it going underneath and joining at the far side. Now that is a good idea, but I'm not 100% convinced that it is going to work. However, there is only one way to find out. So in today's video, at least for the first few minutes, I'm going to consider the idea and see how it works and what needs to be destroyed, and logistically, or in some sort of fantasy, trying to make this as realistic as possible, what might have happened that might prevent that actual setup from working. Make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started, and after I've done that, it is going to be a matter of actually connecting this up, maybe putting in a bit of detailing around it, because I think it does need some detailing, which will be interesting, and then getting the trains running. Okay, so let us begin by taking a look at how this would pan out. Now, if we have a look at the height of this bridge, and the best way for me to do that is by selecting the marker and getting some information, or just doing that. The height of this bridge is at 22 meters. This should be higher up, right? 23 coming down to 21. Okay, so the height is not going to be an issue at that point in time. Let me check the heights here. 22, 23 meters. 26 to 23 meters. So that is confusing. No, it is not as confusing. It is going uphill. It is in the opposite direction. So, that gives me enough information about that. Now, the way that this would have to work. So at the moment I've got this, which is somewhat steep, but doable. What I would have to do is... it certainly is not going to run at So if I were to just put some 20-mile-per-hour track in for now. No, do not attempt that. Just do it properly, please. I know you can. Just being awkward about it now. I know for a fact that you are able to do this. There we go. Right. So, having no costs, this is always useful. I am having some issues. Everything is running very, very slowly today. And I am not all too certain why. I might just pause the game to see what I can do. Okay. Keeping it level is going to give me this. Whatever this is. Let me actually pause the game because this is not... Even pause, this is running really poorly. So that is what it's going to give me if I keep it level. Of course, I do not want to keep it level. As you can see over there, that is already climbing. But I see the potential concept here. Now, in reality, what might happen that would stop this? These farmers refuse to sell their land. That is about it. So if I were to now start increasing the height, how much closer can we get to the top of that bridge? Not. That is about as close as we can get. Right. Okay. And the idea behind this is that we should be able to... It might be a bit of a tight curve, but we should, in theory, be able to run a train underneath this. Like so. And then run upwards. Okay. So that is how that bit would go. And then I suppose we have all of this room to run a train upwards. Right. Now this was made before the mod to smooth all of this out into one very smooth downhill gradient was available. So this was all handled manually. Now what that could mean is that I could begin, potentially, in theory, I could begin a downhill gradient right here, which would be better than what I currently have. But in order to do that, I would need to cut through all of this. Now, would that be suitable? It is not a bad option. It is actually not a bad option. Let me break. In all honesty, I should probably break this entire section here. None of this needs to be around. So, we shall bring back some performance by getting rid of it. There we are. This is very, very laggy. So what we are looking at is an uphill like that, which would go something like that. This could be viable. this could actually be quite... This could be a viable option. Especially if I were to run this a little bit lower, just a bit lower, so that it goes through here. I can make a tighter curve and bring it in as tight as possible along there. Okay. This is my new plan then. So you just stay flat the entire time. Remain flat. There we go. Will this go through that gap? Yes, it will. I will fix whatever chaos this is as soon as I possibly can, but just for a test or for testing purposes. There it is, just again, as I said, testing purposes. Right. So, how would this now work? Well, no, that would be a problem. But would this be a problem? Oh, that would. Would this be a problem? Here we go again. So, I need the smoothest curve. There it is. That I could potentially get. And I think that is the one. Oh, a locomotive should fit under that without any hitch. Really. There it goes. Not a problem. In fact, that has so much clearance, I might even raise this. So, out of curiosity, this was a good idea. Whoever suggested it, thank you. Raise that 3 meters. Collision. I'll stop checking for collisions. And just raise that one 3 meters as well. This is just to see how close these can get. 3 meters might be a touch too close. Oh, just a touch. 2 meters. Okay, but that gives me options. So this bit will have to be fixed. This is all very strange. But I could actually do something really interesting here between these two bridges, but I'm not sure that it would work out exactly how I wanted to work out. Right. Let's bring this down to down a meter. So down a meter, and you do the same. There we are. That should now allow a train to fit. It's still pretty. No, that will be fine. What I do not want to get into is a situation like the Isle of Wight, where they have a tunnel, and the tunnel's so narrow. Well, not just narrow, but it is so low that nothing aside from tube trains can get under it. And you see, now if I were to do this, I can now run this alongside alongside here all the way. Come on. All the way up to here. And actually, even better is if I were to run it like that, and then all the way around, up to, oh dear. Are you not going to... Oh no, it is working. There. Not exactly the best design, but do you know what? I prefer it, and I am going to take that one over what I had. So, thank you to that person. This is going to be interesting, but I will deal with that when the time comes. Let me start perhaps trying to neaten some of this up. So first off, the first bit we really need to work on is getting this section lined up properly. So I would like to propose a straight. So this is how I'm going to do this. We are going to run. Let's run parallel to the shoreline, shall we? Like so. Good. Now that that is there, I am going to. I mean, you can see the issue that we are going to have. It's not ideal. There is a very easy way of fixing this, and that is to do this, and we shall lift it. So, in fact, there's an even better way. I can select this. This is at 15.04, so let me lift this to 15 meters, not 16, not 13. Let's go for an actually round 15 meters. There it is. And I shall do the same here. So that is 15.24. Just shows that this does not actually work as you expect. There we are, 15 and 15. Good. And why not just do this? This should not be that much of an issue. In fact, it really was not. There we go. 15 all the way. And that also means just to keep checking, making sure that trains do fit underneath. They do. Good. So that is the first bit complete. I will then run this. It must stay flat. There we go, 15 meters. We'll then run that, and I'll sort out the bridge momentarily. Run that up to there. And now we have to check where this was. So apparently this is very steep for a train. But then, so are these, are they not? Yes, these bits are very steep for a train. So I think it just is something that needs to be accepted and dealt with. So this is, at the point of crossing, 17 meters. And we are happy with the 17 meters. I am going to make that assumption. So get rid of that up to there. This is the first time I've done something like this properly. No, not down. We are going to hold the 15 meters as we see how tight a curve we can bring in here. And the answer to that is that tight. Okay, I am okay with that. What I'm then going to do is select this point and lift it exactly 2 meters. Exactly 2 meters and 3 centimeters. That has now been lifted. I am then going to... So at any other point? This point here, no, that is it. I'm then going to select from this curve, from that point to that point, we are going to ramp equalize. So that is now a gentle uphill. Good. From there, we are going to continue with this railway. Now you'll note that at that point this is quite low down. Now can I make that, well, not that steep, but can I make it something in between? Because that is pretty low. Though it could work. It could work. In fact, I've had an idea. I'm not sure it is a good idea, but I'm going to attempt it nonetheless. So, the idea is as follows. This is a junction. At the end of this junction, I'm going to have 20 yards of track. After the 20 yards of track, I'm going to have this track follow up to, actually not strictly follow, but I do need it to do some amount of following. This is where it's going to be a little bit more interesting. Yes, that is what I need it to do. Good. Oh, interesting. Did not know I could do that with it. How far does that need to go in a straight line to accept? Oh. See, something like that would really bug me. So I have to fix that. There. So now I have this section like this. Now, of course, this bit is rather steep, as you can obviously see. So what I'm going to do is from here, and this is where this could go wrong, but from after those 20 yards, all the way down to this point here, I'm going to ramp equalize. That surprisingly works very, very quickly. Okay. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. I was hoping that there would be a little bit more room. Maybe I should have pushed it just a little further towards there. But that is okay. Now if I look at the information, very steep for train, very steep for train, very steep for train. All of this is very steep for a train. Right. So this is all very steep for a train, unfortunately. If I were to put a... Oh, I do need to start working on airports. If I were to place one of these in... Place a... Find the largest engine I can find. One of these. Here we go. I think that clearance is probably the best I'm going to get. So what I need to do is decide whether this steepness is going to be okay. I think it will. I think it certainly will. Then what I need to do, something that I've forgotten to do, but I'll put it in here now anyway. So I need to place that there. Now, in doing that, I do need to measure the length of this. 400 yards, nothing beyond 400 yards. Okay, we get these trains out of the way. Why are you going in that direction? No, 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 no. What are you doing? Shepton Island Food Spare, you should be going here. What are you doing and where are you going? Right, for the sake of getting this moving, just go. Get yourself out of the way. Right, and whilst that is happening, whilst that's happening, I need to pin that. Let me get rid of this bit. There we are. And say perhaps I'll work on putting this back in. This needs to go. There we go. That is now gone. And then what I need to do is work on perfectly straight path here. Let's see how close that gets me to my destination. Pretty close, a little bit high up. That is also okay. So I can delete this, I can certainly delete this wobbly bit. And do that. Turn around. Will you get to the right spots now? I hope so. Now, as for this bit, this is where there will be a little bit of chopping and changing. What speed was this at? 40? No, 30. 50. 50 and 40. I'll try to keep it up at 50 then. Let's do that. There's 43 for that. Let's try and do that. We'll slow this section down as and when we need. What I want to do is I'll do that. Go away. Is do that. And then from there, also do that. 45 miles per hour at the crossing, at the crossover. That is not too bad. Okay. I am concerned about this. There is... Now, of course, because this is a hill, it is somewhat skewing what we are seeing. So that is 42. That is 41. So that is 38. So it does look... Things do look a little bit less like they should, I suppose. Let me... What if I were to put a bridge and a bridge like this? What would that even look like? The answer is incredibly confusing. So, embankment it is. Right. That is that sorted. How long is this? How long did I make this? 250 yards? Just over 250 yards. I could increase this to 300 yards. Make it a little bit longer, although I think 250 yard trains toing and froing should be in the operative word, should be all right. So we have that. I think in this straight section here, we probably want a passing. In fact, maybe we should just do it for that, for the entire section. Oh, idea. Not a great idea, but an idea nonetheless. Now stay flat. Right. Will you... What have you done? Do that. There we go. So we'll connect that like so, and then... Right, what do you mean too much slope? How can there be too much slope on... Why are you down there? I see the issue. There we go. Good. And then potentially, I don't know. Yeah, we've got this bit here. Stop. There we go. And yes, I know this is going to be slowed down massively, but that is fine. These speeds are not permanent speeds, so I can do this. There. That seems reasonable, right? he says, as it does not wish to build something absolutely basic. There we are. I am getting to a point where there are things in Transport Fever 2 that I am starting to just think this is not worth it. There we go. Right. So, single track through a lot of this. This is still... I'm still not 100% sold on this. Would the farmers be willing to push that back just a little? Push their fields back just a touch? Is the question. They might. Oh, this is at that point there. What if I were to split it right there? Do this. Is that any better? It is a little... I saw that slight climb. This is a little better, but still far from ideal. And now I am a little bit more concerned about this turn. So, wait, what? Let's try this bit again, shall we? There. That could be better. That is a roller coaster drop. This even has the little downhill and then up and then around. Try that. How does that work? Better. I much prefer... Yes, I much prefer that around here now. Still a little bit too much just there, but I do much prefer that. Okay. For now, I'm going to leave that as it is. If you have suggestions, please let me know. I'm going to get rid of you. Next up is cleaning this entire section. This is always a little bit rough to do. But trying to clean all the trees off of this bit. There we go. So after all, this is new in a sense. In fact, no, this should be new because of the whole power station setup. So instead of small local power stations, we are now building large ones. So this would very, very much be something of the 1930s. There we go. Okay, so that is that bit done. Could we push the river back? This is the next question. If I were to push the river back all the way, so the bank is now along there, would that be a smart thing to do? I think it would look decent, but would it be the smart thing to do? And then what I could do is all of that you pile up here and smooth this side out. And that would look interesting. That would definitely look interesting. Well, again, something for you to consider. Do you think I should do that? Right. That is that bit completed. Let me get the speeds correct. I hope that I have made this curve in such a manner that 50 is possible. Should be. Yes, it is. Good. That's apparently 49, so something will need to be adjusted there. We'll work on that. Right, 50 up to there, 50 up to there. And I would say at this point we bring it down to 20. See, I'm definitely having trouble. There we go, that should now hold the 20 throughout all of this. And the crossover. Yes, please. Good. There we are. Right. This section definitely completed with how this is designed. So I can go ahead and put not... Look at that. We have these coming up. I can go ahead and put these in, and now they should be yellow. Wait, no. Wait, what have I done? What have I done? Oh no, this is correct. This is correct. 50. And we'll have markers for 10. My single contribution to my one and only contribution to the put that 20 my one and only contribution to the Transports Fever 2 modding community. These signs. There we go. And I suppose, given what I've just done, I need to have one of these. There we go. Good. Sorted. That goes there. That goes there. Put some signals in that. I'm going to make an assumption I'm going to need some signals here. In fact, I know what I'm going to do, because I think it would look pretty good to see from not only the other side, but from the housing over here. I'm going to place... In fact, let me place the signals first. This is not going to be how I want it, is it? Hopefully this pans out. I think because of... There's going to be a slight angle to these. Okay, so they would go there, and then... gantries. You? Are you the ones? I do not think you are, but I'm going to make an attempt anyway. See if you stop. Stop it. No, no. Yes, yes. Here we go. No. Maybe I have to have it go back a little. Yes. Maybe. No. Okay, how have I done that then? Maybe if I did it from here and actually looked at what I was doing, it'd be easier. Plus, minus. No. Right. Okay. It is... I know I have them somewhere. Where? Country, here we go. Double? Oh, right, yes. Mid-span. Ah. Yes, there we go. Mid-span. It... Why? Why does it do this to me? Yeah, mid-span, mid-span, and right. Okay, that only took far longer than it should have. Starting to look the part, though. Definitely starting to look the part. I could have used these. I really could have used these. Just said, hey, look, I'm just going to put these in, but that is fine. Ah, yes, I get to use these signals too now. Not that these will ever be used in the way that I am running them, but I suppose it is nice to have, I guess. There we are. I suppose that bits would never really need them. Okay. So from up here now. From up here, this is out of the level of... rubbish. It is out of the level of detail view. Also, that is the autosave, so that is telling me that I need to consider ending this episode. What I should do, though, is build... there was something else I needed to fix. These. I'm not sure what there used to be, but clearly something broke. So I'm going to get that sorted. And the route, I also need to build up the route for this. Okay. So configuring this. Before I configure this, I should really save. I know there has been an autosave, but just to be doubly sure about this. Because, yes, best to be safe than sorry. I was going to say doubly safe, and then I ended up saying doubly sour. Sound like a pirate there. Come on, save. Get treated to 2 save pauses today. There we are. Right, now to make certain of this, well, actually, let this pick up whatever it needs to pick up. Come on. Wait, why are you taking things back to Shepson? And not that. Okay. This is where... Ooh. I do not want to remove that module. That is not what I'm after. That is not what I'm trying to remove. Can I not place... I can place things here. Okay. Not passenger then. Cargo. Can I just place this down? Yes, I know it removed that, but I will deal with it. I'm very unsure as to what has happened. Okay, we now have this bit. This is not ideal. Then we have that, and in front of this we were really supposed to have something. That was a cargo station, but if that is now gone, I can still try. There we go. Oh no, that is not the one, is it? Was that the one? I'm not sure. Was it? I guess we can place that back in. There we are. For now, that will have to do as we figure out what on earth happened in the first place to cause that, to cause those problems. But okay, there we go. Now, what I need to do, everything else is still connected as it should be. So the final thing for me to do is to set up a route. New line. FRRA Battersea Coal. Coal. There we go. Grey line. Oh, this is going to be a problem, isn't it? From this station to here and back. Okay, good. There we are. Small. I'll sort out what I need to do with that. Take any platform here, of course, and over here, this is where we need to be a little bit wary. I think it can only take the one platform. It's going to be platform 3, which then means that realistically I need to try and make sure nothing else uses that platform. But we do have that purple one using it. What is the purple one? No reports, mix, goods transfer. I wonder if I could push that onto this line. Ooh. Right. Potentially this might work if you cannot take... In fact, you are happy to take any platform. So take any of those. No, do not take 6. 6 would be a problem. 4 is okay. 2 and 1 are okay. There we go. Okay. So that should ease some congestion here. Once the trains are out. Which, of course, at present, they are not. That will happen in the next video. So in the next video, what I'm going to be doing is we'll do some finalization of the detailing. Here it's going to be a 1930s detailing video. In fact, we should probably change this to April when this video is going to be released, which is the 8th of April, hopefully. Mark that as the 8th of April. In the next video, what I'm going to do, as I said, is we'll do some detailing here. I'll probably do some detailing off camera. We'll do some detailing around here. I'll see if I can, if I have got the time. I'll see if I can put the rest of this in. Ooh. Oh dear. What has gone on here? Okay, so I remember mentioning that I have some trouble in these areas, and it seems as though that trouble is continuing. But why? Why is every single train stuck? Because I bet you one of these trains... No, that train is fine. Every single train up to there is stuck for some reason. Because these lines are broken. Why? Why has that happened? Why is that a thing? Okay, so a few things need fixing, and it appears that that is one of them. I bet you it's a speed limit thing, isn't it? Oh yes, because that goes down to 59 for... Right, okay. Well... If you want to be paying like that... Oh, that isn't correct. There. Why is that set? This does not seem like something I would do. This is a computer has done it. There. That should probably open something up. Potentially. I'm not entirely certain. The way in there. Guess I could place another set of signals just here to see what happens. These are temporary. And by temporary, I mean temporary in the way speed limits in Britain are temporary. There we go. Maybe that will start... No. You are stopped waiting for something. What are you waiting for? You! What are you doing here? Go somewhere else. There is the issue. And why are you all going through... Why were you going through there in the first place? You should be going through here and... Okay. Well, that is going to be something I deal with at a later time. For now, as I said, I will, or off camera, I will try to add more of those telegraph poles in the various locations. So just like I've done here, I'll try and do that in a number of other locations. Notably, I will try to get it done between here and Attleborough. So if I can get that up to this section here done, going in that direction, that would be useful. Please help. All of this is because of one train stuck. All of this is because one train is stuck out all the way out here. Transports Fever 3, please have a better way of handling this. Please, please, please have a better way of handling this, because that would be very much appreciated. Just need to see if this moves it. Cross, 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 cross. That was it. Because these points were incorrect. They sent the train through a place where it should not be, and that was it. There was no hope after that. But why the train went down that place that way in the first place, I have no idea. That has caused the tailbacks all the way. So that has caused the tailback 30 miles away. I think that is about, no, maybe 20 miles away. That's caused the tailback 20 miles away. This here has caused trouble. Maybe this isn't even 20 miles. Many miles away. I'm going to have to figure out how far away that is. Let me test something. I'm supposed to be ending the video. Fine. So that is about a mile. Okay. It's not going to be 20 miles, is it? 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles, 6 miles, 7 miles, 8 miles, 9 miles away. 20 miles is the end of the... This is out going towards 20, 25 miles. Still, 9 miles of traffic. That is annoying. And now everything is going to start moving as it is supposed to move. Right, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos where I've lost a power station. There it is. How do you lose a power station? Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Any suggestions you might have on things that I need to detail, things that perhaps need to be improved before we move on to, well, there will be an episode of just showing things around and maybe upgrading some trains, but then we are going to move on to 1935, or I might just skip 1935 and go straight to 1940. I do not know. That is something for me to think about as well. But nonetheless, do leave your comments with your suggestions. If you can do so and want to do so, you can check out my Patreon and Discord. Links are in the description box below. But aside from that, that is all from me. And I shall see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series.